Just tell you a little bit about our school. We're a 7th grade school up in Reservoir, obviously, and basically we weren't very happy with our literacy results in 2007, and we weren't doing very well, and we decided we had to make a lot of changes, and we had a bit of help from Rachel with that. We had a literacy coach for a while last year, and we've changed a lot, and we've done things a little bit more. We've gone a little bit more radical with some of our approaches, but we were looking at our classes, and we have this massive range of talents in our classes, as I'm sure many of you do. And what we've done is we've started a toolbox reading group, as well as with our whole class reading group. So we're looking at doing 7 sessions a week of reading. And the toolbox is, we go through a lot of assessments, so we're doing things like on-demand testing, we use CARs, running records, and especially we're using rubrics now that show the VELs continue on them, and as students go through the system, we kind of color in where they're at, and these gets passed on to each teacher. So this helps the classroom teacher know where the kids are at, and it also helps the toolbox teacher know what strategies and what things they need to be teaching. So what we've done with that is we've been able to group kids as to their needs, because I teach a grade 4, 5, 6 class, so the range of my room is absolutely massive, right? And even if I look at my 6s alone, that range is huge too. So we've been really able to target kids as to what they need. So for example, I teach sort of the top group, and I have the biggest group in the school because the kids I teach are the most sort of able to work independently. And we spend a lot of time working on sort of that higher order stuff, like we really work hard on paraphrasing and talking about author intent and doing a lot of trying to infer what the meaning is in a text. And as they progress along, I go along their rubric and go, okay, this is what we need to do. And same with CARs. Like at the beginning of the year, we did a lot of CARs assessment, and I went, okay, vocabulary and inference. Those are the 2 huge areas where these kids are really struggling. Now the vocabulary probably comes from the fact that a lot of kids in our school are from an ESL background. They have a lot of the strategies, but they just don't know what the words mean. So we spend a lot of time, like every text we read, we pick out all the words that might be trouble and we talk about them, and we use keywords and stuff like that as well. Another big change we've had is after John came to our school, is we do at least I personally do, and everyone in the sort of the top 3 grades at our school, we have 3, 4, 5, 6s, we all grab a small text and really tear it apart at the beginning of each reading class, and that's just not for toolbox, that's in class as well. So we'll talk about the difficult words, and we'll try and do paraphrasing, and we'll talk about what the, do some predicting as well, and then we'll do a summary at the end. So we're really ripping text apart and making sure we're getting all the information out of it that we can, and we make sure we do that across the board. It's not just in reading groups, it's anything we read. Where are we here? Oh, and we're also really working with the kids, and I've noticed in my group especially, the students are a lot more able to verbalize now what the strategies are, and they actually get angry with other kids if they don't know what they are. Like, come on, that's summarizing, man. So it's really good. Like the kids are becoming much more involved in it. I think the way we teach reading now is just so much more targeted, and we're really getting there. And we're seeing results in our testing as well. Like a lot of our kids are really starting to make some big jumps. And part of the reason we're doing this is because we had this drop off after the early years. So kids were hitting year 4, and they had all these wonderful decoding skills, and they could read just about anything you threw at them, but they had no idea what a lot of it meant. So this is us really trying to target that and pick these kids up. And it's great to be able to read the words, but what does it all mean? And I think it's been really successful so far. Another thing that we do is, I think it's really important that we really make sure the activities we do are linking up with, like we have a focus every week, like we might be doing paraphrasing. So it's great to have a book activity, that's wonderful, and that's part of it, but we also have to have an activity that really targets that. It's a little bit what John was talking about just then, about sort of showing that you can do it. So at least in my reading groups, I make sure that we have that component that we're really, show me you can do it. We've been talking about this all week, and then I make sure during my reading groups that we share that as well. We talk about how we were able to paraphrase that. And we also make sure we can do it across lots of genres as well. So that's some of the stuff we've been doing. And we're going to be seeing a video a bit about how the teachers at our school have been sharing their ideas and making sure everyone's on the same page with this. And so we started with literacy walks at our school, where we spent sort of a little bit of time in a bunch of classrooms. And that was really good at the beginning, because it gave us an idea of, we would look at a targeted thing like getting knowledge ready, and we'd go bang, 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 and we see what lots of different classes are doing. And we feel we sort of got a lot out of that, but it was time to move on. So we've moved on to peer coaching now. So within our PLTs, we have, I think it's twice a term. Yes, every third week, 2 or 3 times a term. we go into another teacher's class and we sit there, and it's not as many people as a literacy box. It's personally, I find it less intimidating. There's only 3 people there, and they're the people you work with all the time, and they'll be there for an entire class. And then you sit down afterwards in your meeting and talk about it and share and go, this went well, or here are some ideas. And we're always making sure during our meetings, we meet once a week as a team, we make sure we're sharing what we're doing in our, for our reading literacy. And James is now going to present a video.
I'd just like to thank Adam first, because Adam didn't know he was coming until 3 days ago, and I found out 5 days ago, so it took me 2 days to tell him. This video is not specifically looking at literacy strategies as such, but the processes that we've put in place at our school to improve our collective literacy knowledge. So I'll just start it for you. Just before I started too, because of the short time frame and the fact that we were dobbed in for it, what we decided to do was get everybody at the school on this video. So